إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله هيا على الصلاة هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. نحمده ونصلي على رسول نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره. We praise him and seek his help and his forgiveness. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا. We seek refuge in Allah from our soul's evils and our wrongdoings. ومن سيئات أعمالنا and our wrongdoings. من يهده الله فلا مضل له. He whom Allah guides, no one can misguide. ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. And he who is misguided can only be guided by Allah. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. And I bear witness that there is no God except Allah, alone, without any partner. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his servant and messenger. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who have believed, keep your duty to Allah as it ought to be kept, and die not unless you are in a state of belief. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. O you who have believed, keep your duty to Allah and speak straight words. يصلح لكم أعمالكم. He will put your deeds into a right state for you. ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم. And forgive you your sins. ومن يطع الله ورسوله. And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger, فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. He indeed achieves a mighty success. Today's khutbah, inshallah, is in two parts, maybe three parts, but two parts primarily. First, we are going to build up the case, and then we are going to refer it to the Quran, inshallah, and then give a couple of examples, inshallah, from the Quran of the prophets. The US Declaration of Independence declared 3 unalienable rights which governments are created to protect. These are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness is defined as a fundamental right to freely pursue joy and live life in a way that makes you happy. We are going to be talking about the pursuit of happiness, inshallah. The Quran in its entirety never mentions the pursuit of happiness as a real goal. The closest it comes to is contentment. It never acknowledges happiness the way we know here in the US. So before we get into the Quran, I want to use a few minutes to build various levels of pursuits or goals. There are a lot of effort. The lowest pursuit is actually the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't take much to be happy. You have a class at 9 a.m. in the morning and you are sleeping until 8:30. and that makes you happy. It didn't take much effort for you to get happy. Some of you are sitting at home and eating cheese puffs, and that makes you happy. For some people, doing nothing makes them happy. So being happy is not really an accomplishment. And also, on the other side, the feeling of happiness goes away quickly as well. Then there is a pursuit that is higher than that. And that's the pursuit of social responsibility, social acceptability, of looking cool. The kids would understand that. I want to look like everybody else. I don't want to be the weird one. This actually is a struggle, especially for kids going to school here in the US. The way they dress is they look entirely different from everybody else and they feel awkward. So they make sure that the next time they go to the store with their parents, that they will think, what can I wear so that when I wear it to school, no one will look at me funny or make a comment. I need to look in a certain way. I need to talk in a certain way that I don't stand out. I don't want to be pointed and laughed at. I want to fit in like everybody else. For a lot of Muslims, as I mentioned, this is a real struggle, especially for a lot of youth. Our girls go through this struggle a lot, especially the ones who wear the hijab. It's not easy. They stick out and people make mean comments to them. School environment can be a very harsh environment. Some young people may listen to certain kind of music just because that's what all their friends are listening to. This is something that affects older people as well, not just the youth. They want to fit in too. They want to move into the neighborhood because everybody else moved into that neighborhood. What are people going to say? Their financial decisions, their business decisions, their family decisions, even their decision to marry their kids are sometimes based on what they think is socially acceptable. They don't think about what's best for them or what's best for the family, but rather what's socially acceptable. Social acceptance becomes more important. But then there are some people who want to go higher than that, and they are on a pursuit of popularity. They don't just want to look cool and look like everybody else. They want to be the coolest. The cool people just blend in, but they want to wear the most expensive clothes and accessories like watches, sneakers, jeans, etc. They need to get the most attention. They are the loudest in the group. They want that everybody else gathers around them. These are people who live off of attention. They need attention. There are other people that are perfectly happy being invisible. And we have seen some of them, some of us who are working at the workplace. There may be somebody working in our office, in your office, for over 10 years, and you wouldn't know that they exist because they'd rather be invisible. And then there are people that live for attention. They get that attention by any means necessary. Some celebrities are like that. They'll do anything to get attention. If their music does not sell anymore, they will get involved in some scandal so that some tabloid might pick it up. We have all seen tabloids at checkout lines in grocery stores. So now we have the pursuit of happiness, followed by the pursuit of social acceptance, pursuit of cool, followed by the pursuit of popularity. Above popularity, there are people who pursue something even higher. They pursue prestige. What that means is that for some people, it is not important what they have achieved, but that they look like a big deal. The fact that you are associated with a big deal. So the brand of clothes that you wear becomes more important than the intelligence that you have, the words you have to say, the work you actually have done. The kind of car you drive becomes really important. So for someone whose family is not doing well financially, and your dad drives a 20-year-old Oldsmobile, you want to be dropped off 3 blocks away from school because you can't be associated with a 20-year-old car. If your dad is driving a BMW or a Mercedes, on the other hand, you would like to be dropped off in the school parking lot so that everybody can see what kind of car you're coming out from. There are people who love telling you which college they go to. Never mind that it's their first semester or they're failing their grades. They feel the need to tell people that their self-worth is increased. that their name is associated with USC or Harvard or some other Ivy League, for example. Your clothes, your body is associated with brand name clothes. For some people, it is who they are affiliated with, who they have met. You know who I have a selfie with? You know, you must have heard those kinds of lines with some friend. It's not about you, it's about these associations. It's about the people who you are associated with. You may be failing all your classes, but you get to say, I go to Harvard. For such people, it's all about image. That's all they work for. Some of us have ingrained, some of us, me included, have ingrained in our kids that unless you go to a medical school or engineering school, you will have no prestige. No one will want to marry you. Some of you may be working. Some of the young people may be working and renting an apartment, and your parents say, until you buy a house in a mortgage that's far beyond anything you can make economic sense of, until you own a home, you will have no prestige. Anybody who has some respect owns a house of these. Now, of prestige, people put themselves in social difficulty, psychological difficulty, economic difficulty, and spiritual difficulty, just out of prestige. Then there are people whose lives are dedicated beyond prestige to one thing only. As the Quran says, الَّذِي جَمَعَ مَعَلًا وَعَدَّدَ, money. They don't care about prestige, they don't care about looking cool, they don't care about being popular, they don't care about happiness, they don't care about anything. All they care about is money. And these people are good at making money. They wear used clothing, worn out sandals. They look like they may be homeless, but they are making 30 grand a day. They know how to make money. And they are driving the ugliest of cars. If you look at them, if you met them, you would not know that they are millionaires. These people are focused. These people know that happiness, social acceptance, popularity, or prestige is not worth it. They are focused on making money. And these people are smart. They work hard, they know how to make money. They live a miserable life though, because they spend all their energy on making money and more money. They may not even leave anything for inheritance by their kids, because their thought is that if the kids are hard workers, well, they will not need my money. And if they are not hard workers, they don't deserve my money at all. They leave behind a family that's been abandoned. They don't have much friends or social life. They are miserable in every aspect of life. The only time you see any glimmer in their eyes is when there is talk of money. That's all they pursue. You will notice that as we are going up the pursuits, it requires more and more effort. For happiness, you eat a bowl of cereal and you're happy. It takes a little more effort to look cool, a little bit more effort to be popular, a little bit more effort for prestige. You have to spend some money, you have to spend some time, and a lot of hard work to make money. And there are less and less people pursuing those. As we are going up the ladder, you will see less and less people pursuing those, going after those pursuits. Above that is the pursuit of excellence. You will find such people in every group or gathering. They are wired differently. They don't care about any of the pursuits that we just mentioned. All they care about is being number one. They don't want to just pass the class. They want to get the highest grade. They don't want to just graduate. They want to be the valedictorian. They don't want to be just in the basketball team. They want to be MVP. These people are never satisfied. They could get 100 in every test, but they still want to get still want to get a higher grade. As an athlete, they could be winning the race by 100 feet, but they still won't slow down. That is because they are constantly fighting not against an opponent, but against themselves. They constantly say to themselves, I haven't done enough. I haven't pushed enough. I haven't gotten far enough. And by the way, these are some incredible people in the world. You'll find these people in every field, and they'll have one thing in common: this grit. They are constantly pushing themselves further. They have to beat their own records. Most of us, if we got a B in class, we'll be happy. These guys, they would be crying if they got an A. We have seen some of these kind of kids in school. I used to see them even in the university. They get a 99 in class and they are crying about it. You got a 75 and you went to Umrah to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But these people got a 99 and they are arguing with the teacher for that one point. We just want to beat them up after school is over. But that's not good. Some people are still not happy because all these pursuits, even excellence, is about themselves, is about yourself. These are people that say that life is bigger than just the aspirations I have for myself. I want to change the world in some way. I want to make my neighborhood better. I want to leave an impact on this planet. I want to help children around the world. I want to leave an impact on this planet. I just don't want to be the top engineer. I want to be the top engineer that develops clean water and clean air programs for the world. I don't just want to be a doctor. I want to create solutions that can provide medical support to far off places for people who can't afford it. I want to change the world. They have the drive for excellence already, but that drive is not for themselves, it's for others. These people are concerned with impact. There are a lot of young people today that are graduating, and we have seen them, and we are seeing a lot of people from our next generation, they graduate from top universities with, unbelievable scores around the world. And they have job offers, six-figure job offers even before they graduate. And they turn it down because they want to work for a nonprofit for not even half the salary. That is because what drives them is impact. People who are driven by impact are very few in the world. Most people would just want to be happy. As we move up, like I said, it takes more effort, and as we move up, it's lesser and lesser people. So this was the first part of the book, the different degrees of pursuits that people have, from being happy, from following happiness, from trying to be cool, from trying to become more popular, prestige, money, excellence. Now we are going to talk about an analogy in the Quran to help us understand what the Quran says. And one of the most powerful analogies in the Quran, for the Quran itself, is rain. Allah sends water from the sky. The simple example is that Allah sends Quran from the sky just as He sends water from the sky. The water that comes from the sky gives life to the dead earth. Just like the Quran that comes from Allah gives life to dead hearts. It brings the heart back to life. When Allah is talking about rain and the effect of rain, He is also talking about the Quran and the effect it has on people's hearts. So understand that whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about water and what water does, He is also talking about the Quran and what the Quran does, what revelation does. Now, one of the descriptions of rain is that it produces vegetation, fruits and vegetables. But it does not produce the same kind of life. It's the same kind of water, but it has different effect on different parts of the world. The kind of orange that grows in the US is different from the kind of orange that grows in South Asia. And one thing that can grow in the US is mangoes. And it's found very much. Even the grass, the trees are very different from different parts of the world. I remember growing up when we built our house, the gardener would sell us, the landscaper would sell us grass, saying that this is American grass. And we were like, oh, American grass. But we've all seen what American grass looks like over here. So even though the water is the same, what it produces around the world is diverse. This is important to understand because the Quran is one and the same. But the way it inspires you and what it inspires you to do is different than it does to the person sitting next to you. The way the Quran inspires you and what it inspires you to do is different than it does to the person sitting next to you. I am standing here giving this khutbah, but that does not mean you will do the same. Perhaps you are a different kind of a tree, a different kind of a shrub. a different kind of food. What does that mean? What that means is that there is not one thing to do for Islam. There is a countless number of things you can do for Islam. The entire earth needs water. The entire earth grows produce, and all of the produce has its own purpose. Think about that and understand that every one of you has a unique potential. And if you really understand similarity from the Quran, plants have an impact, don't they? Not only are plants releasing oxygen, they also absorb carbon dioxide. They are also providing food for the environment around them. Plants are sustaining the entire ecosystem, aren't they? So the plants are fed water, and now they are the means from which the earth is fed. We are fed by revelation in the form of Quran, and we are going to be the means with which the world is going to be a better place. We are going to be the means by which the world will be fed. And it will not be fed in one way. Each one of you has unique talents. I'm especially addressing the youth, because our time is gone. Each one of you has unique talents, unique strengths, unique ideas, unique potential. Not only is it our job to discover that, but then it becomes your job from learning the Quran that you are not a pursuer of happiness, nor a pursuer of cool, nor popularity, nor prestige, nor money, nor excellence, but you are going to be a pursuer of impact inspired by the word of Allah. You are going to be the pursuer of impact inspired by the word of Allah, which is the Quran. And by the way, excellence is a byproduct. It will come anyway if you are rightly inspired. And money, Allah will throw it in your hands from where you can't even imagine. The risk will come from Allah if you have the right mindset. This is also a call to the youth in this community to have some direction. This generation should not be saying, I'm not sure what I'm going to say when I go to college. I'm still thinking about it. I don't feel like doing that. This major makes me happy. Stop with the pursuit of happiness. I'm addressing the youth especially. You are the ones who are going to have real impact. And no people can have a better impact than the people who have the right water and the right fuel. And no group of people, no ummah in this world has the Quran except you people. Once you are inspired, the change you will bring, no one else will be capable of bringing except you people. The world is dying and it's waiting for you to take that inspiration. You are going to be the generation that produces people that are amazing in the arts, sciences, and applied sciences. They will not become doctors because their mama forced them to become doctors. They will become doctors because they want to make the world a better place, inspired by the word of Allah. We have to think much bigger than ourselves. That is what this Ummah does. That is the concept of Sadaqah Jariyah. How many of you have heard the story of the old man close to his death, lying on his deathbed, but he is planting a tree? That tree will develop much later after his death, after he's gone. But he is still planting it because he is thinking about impact. You and I now have to start thinking about being people of impact. You and I now have to start thinking about being people of impact. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. We have used two words in this khutbah, pursuit and impact. We, the people of the Quran, are different from other people in the way that we are actually not interested primarily in impact. We are interested primarily with the pursuit of impact, with following, with doing steps that would create an impact. You and I will spend our lives pursuing impact because you and I understand that impact comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The effort comes from us, the result comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The entire life of Nuh alayhi salam is a pursuit. If you study his progress of how many people followed him and became Muslim, you may think this is not having any impact. There are no results to follow or progress to show. Maybe this is not worth doing. No. You are not inspired to create impact because you know impact doesn't come from you. We are inspired to give our lives to the pursuit, as Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam did. Once the pursuit is genuine and it is sincere and it is filled with the right kind of love for Allah, then Allah will give an impact that you can't even imagine. Let me give another example to clarify this. We know that Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam preached in Makkah for 13 years and nothing much happened. Then one fine day he decides to go to Taif, and we all know how he was received and turned out of the town. Nobody, not one soul took Shahada. If you look at it from the outside, this entire exercise had zero impact. As he made dua to Allah, he resolved not to give up on his mission and to remain on his pursuit. And now look at how many people, how many Muslims there are in Taif. There is always impact. Always impact. That is the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ. And they did not look at what was in front of them and they did not get depressed. They kept at it. These were the people of pursuit, and then Allah gave them the impact. You know Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was an army of one, as the Quran says. He was an ummah by himself. Kana ummatan wahida. He did not have any followers. He traveled from land to land to land. That must be an amazing traveling. And he ends up in this desert called Makkah. Not a great place, especially at that time. And he ends up standing with his son in the desert and making a dua that people should come to this place, this desolate, hot place called Makkah. He's standing there praying that people should come here from every corner of the earth. Did he see the result of his prayer in his lifetime? No. Can you imagine if Ibrahim alayhi salam could see what happens in the Haram now? There is not a continent left in the world where there is not a believer that does not turn toward Makkah. If they are unable to visit that place, they have it in their hearts. And that is the impact of someone who made the right pursuit and asked Allah genuinely. That one dua Hazrat Ibrahim made, we are still the answer of that dua. And that will continue till the last day. May Allah make us and our progeny people of clear, objective, and analytical thinking. May Allah make us the best to our prayers. There are people running after the world, but when you come to the service of Allah and you truly pursue impact inspired by the word of Allah, Allah will give them help, or it will help them from where they cannot even imagine. We've read this, we have seen this, but maybe most of us don't have the grit enough to experience this. You are the generation whose lives have to be much more than the next movie that is coming out. Your lives mean a lot more than the Facebook and WhatsApp and Twitter. Your life is so much bigger. I'm addressing the youth right now. You have bigger things to do than to just talk about Facebook posts and Twitter and Instagram. Learn to think big. Allah has given you the honor to be here. There are so many people in this world that do not have La ilaha illallah. You do. As Allah said at the end of Surah Hajj, Huwa jtabakum, meaning you have been selected to become people of La ilaha illallah. Because Allah sees something in you that qualifies you to enable you to be on this pursuit that He did not see in other people. You are not Muslims Just because your parents are Muslim, you are Muslims because Allah sees something in you which you don't even see in yourself here. It's time you started seeing that in yourself. It is time you started expecting more from yourself. Allah did not burden anyone beyond their own potential. Learn to exhaust your potential. Recognize what you are capable of. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. This ummah is not about mediocrity. It is about pushing the limits of what more and more we can pursue. If we and let me repeat that again. This ummah is not about mediocrity. It is about pushing the limits of what more and more we can pursue. And that it was the result of this that within 100 years of the passing of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were Muslims in the whole known world at that time. Because they pushed the limits. They exerted themselves. They pushed the envelope of comfort for themselves. May Allah enable us to understand these words. May Allah enable us to read the Quran. May Allah enable us to understand the Quran, live by the Quran. Because it is only with the Quran that we can get out of the situation that we are in, the miserable situation that we are in. And there seems to be depression among the Muslim Ummah, the whole, everywhere you look. And there seems to be that everybody is coming after the Muslim Ummah. But understand and realize that in Ghazwa Uhud, Ghazwa Badr, Ghazwa Uhud, Ghazwa Khandaq, how much was the Muslim Ummah? And they were going to come to destroy them. Many number of, the military of the opposition, army of the opposition was many times stronger. And they had all kinds of resources. But they did not have faith in you. They did not have the word of Allah in their hearts. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets in our hearts. Our hearts, as there's a dua, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم واستغفروه يغفر لكم واتقوه يجعل لكم من أمركم مخرجا وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله هيا على الصلاة هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Please take yourself from the rock or migrate so that nobody else is disturbed. The next few minutes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's try to keep our concentration. Make sure we are setting in straight line. Fill the gaps in front of you before forming another line. Inshallah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. جاهدوا في الله حق جهاده هو اجتباكم وما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج ملة أبيكم إبراهيم هو سماكم المسلمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
Assalamualaikum everyone. One quick announcement. We are inshallah starting our school in near future. So we are preparing for it. We will need some teachers and volunteers for Sunday school. Please come and join us, and we will start some program also before the school start. But it's just a heads up to all of you that we will inshallah start the school program in near future. And also we have lunch. It is for all the proceedings will go to the masjid inshallah.